Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Cody Sperber, the Clever Investor, here with my son,
Hudson Sperber!
Hudson Sperber. And today we have a very special video for you guys because we were having a little Father-Son Day today. We had lunch on the lawn.
Sunday with food.
We did have some food, lunch on the lawn, and then I took him out of school, brought him to the
no
office.
No more school for 2 weeks because it's spring break.
Boom. And so where are we going for spring break?
Cabo San Lucas.
That's right.
Mexico. I love Mexico.
I love Mexico too. But we were here at the office and we were talking and I was telling Hudson stories and I thought, hey, turn the camera on. We can have story time with Cody and Hudson.
Story time. Bum, bum, bum.
And we're going to have a little fun talking about entrepreneurship. And the story I was telling, first off, real fast. If you're watching this video right now, smash that like button.
With your TV, iPhone, whatever you want to do, even your table. Okay?
Just smash it.
And that subscribe button.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah.
You
with your lamp. Do you think
this could be...
Or your lumberjack.
Do you think this could be the most liked video Daddy has on his channel? I think it could be. But you gotta...
What's a goal? How many likes should we get? How many likes?
Spit it out.
I'm going to say 100,000.
I like where your head's at.
100,000.
I like where your head's at, kid. All right.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. So let's talk about entrepreneurship. And this conversation started because I get asked all the time, do you think people are born to become an entrepreneur, or do you think it's part of your environment that you kind of grow into being an entrepreneur? And I'll answer that here at the end of this video, but before I do, I want to tell you a story about Hudson.
Me, and it's going to be the best story because it revolves around me.
There you go. And this story starts when you were probably what, 5 or 6 years old?
I probably just turned 6.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And one day, my wife sent me and Hudson to Olive Garden to pick up the carryout.
The best restaurant in the world.
I know, we love Olive Garden. And so we went to Olive Garden, and we were hanging out. I went and I paid for the food, and they said, your food will be out here shortly. So we were sitting in the lobby area. And if you know anything about Olive Garden, it's always freaking busy.
It was like a 40-minute wait.
Aren't you mad that you didn't invent Olive Garden? Can you imagine free Olive Garden for life? We should get sponsored by Olive Garden for this video.
We need it right now. We need it right now.
And so we're waiting in the lobby. Hudson's probably 5 or 6 years old. And I go and I sit down on the little benches that are there. It's packed seating. And Hudson is standing there. And he gets the idea, because he's just so full of energy, as you can tell, he gets the idea to go and open up the door for people coming in and out of Olive Garden, right? So you were opening up the door. And I'm sitting there watching him, and he's, kind of looking around trying to think like, okay, when do I open up the door? How far do I open up the door? And he was positioning himself just perfectly to be able to get to the door before anybody comes in or out or touches the door. He wanted to be the person to actually do it. And this elderly couple was walking out of the restaurant. They just got done eating, and I remember it because he was holding his toothpick in his hand, and he just got done unwrapping it, and they were this cute little old couple, and they were shuffling out of Olive Garden, and Hudson runs over and says, "Sir, I got this." And he opens up the door, and the guy puts his toothpick in his mouth, and he kind of looks at Hudson, says, "Thank you very much, young man. You're very polite." And he starts to walk through the door, and he stops in the middle of the doorway. And he sits there for an awkward second. Hudson's staring at him. The old man's staring back at Hudson. The old man reaches down into his pocket, pulls out a quarter, puts it in Hudson's hand, and he said, "You're a very polite young man. Thank you very much. Have a good day." And he walked out. I'm sitting there on the bench watching a 6-year-old stare at a quarter. And he's staring at this thing. And you ever watch somebody come up, like literally you can see their physiology change when the idea hits them and it's born? He realized at that moment, I can make money being a cute little kid, opening up doors for people at the Olive Garden restaurant.
And I can buy more Fortnite V-Bucks.
Uh-huh. Well, at the time, you didn't even know really what money was. We weren't really pushing what money was on you.
I just thought it was shiny.
You understood the concept of money, but you didn't really know how to spend it yet. But when he put that quarter in your hand and that light bulb turned on, right, and you realized that you could start a business, that was the day that I realized that you have potential to be a business owner, right? Because you realize the value of creating value in the marketplace by opening up the door and then getting paid for your services, right? And so Hudson came running back over to me. He said, Dad, look what I got. That guy gave me a quarter. And I said, that's wonderful, Hudson. Go see if you could do it again. And he goes and does it again. And he holds out his hand as he does it. And the next person walks by and kind of looks at his hand, looks at him, and awkwardly like, oh. And he reaches in his pocket and he pulls out 50 cents and puts it in Hudson's hand. And the food wasn't there yet, so he came running back over and he said, Dad, let's stay here for like another hour or two. I think I can make a lot of money doing this. And I said, well, what do you think that you can do to bring even more value and make even more money? And he sits there and looks at me, looks at the quarters in his hand and says, well, what if I didn't get a quarter every single time? What if they gave me more money? I said, you're on the right track. I said, give me your quarters. He gave me his quarters, and I put a dollar bill in his hand. Now, when he opens up the door, he's already holding a dollar bill in his hand. So now the people watching him, and by now he's got a whole crowd of people rooting him on. And the person felt obligated to give him a dollar, not a quarter this time. So now he's multiplying his value, and that's the moment I think you realized, and I realized, that he can be an entrepreneur. You see, the difference to me between being a small business owner and being an entrepreneur really comes down to the way that you think and the way that you feel. Both of them can start a business. Anybody can start a business. Right now, you're watching this channel because you want to make more money. You want to have more control.
You want to be successful.
You want to be successful. You want to control your time and have more freedoms in your life. Real estate just happens to be that gateway or that path to get us more of what we really want, which is time control, more freedom, freedom of choices, less stress, less worry, less anxiety.
Yes.
When you spend more time with friends and family, because your real estate business is crushing it and pouring all this money into your world consistently, that frees up a lot of your mind space to go and spend time with friends and family and travel the world and live a good life.
Yeah.
But there is a difference between starting a business and being an entrepreneur. Like I said, anybody can start a business. I know a lot of people that start a real estate business. They don't really ever scale it. They never really go off to do anything impactful. They don't really ever go off to even make a lot of money. They might dabble or flip a house or two, but they have this thing called an LLC. They have a business, but they're not necessarily an entrepreneur. They just maybe, like Michael Gerber, E-Myths Revisited book, they were a technician that got good at whatever they were technically doing, and they just made a decision, I'm going to start a business. Could be a real estate agent that has a little real estate business. It could be, you could be a plumber or an electrician. You can be a lumberjack. I knew you were going to say that.
The lumberjacks will arise.
You could be a lumberjack and start a lumberjack business, whatever.
I am the almighty lumberjacks. The lumberjack.
And, but that's way different than being an entrepreneur. Business owners, they like to solve a problem and get paid for their problem.
And find lumberjacks.
They like, and normally it's a known problem, right? You have a plumbing issue. I got good at plumbing. I started a plumbing business. I come out and solve your plumbing issues. You pay me money. An entrepreneur, on the other hand, likes to blaze new trails. They like to think big. They're not just looking for like a short-term little thing. An entrepreneur really is looking to solve bigger problems that maybe the rest of the local community isn't focusing on or isn't solving yet. It's a way that you think. It's a way that you feel. It's the attitude that I'm not okay with being average. I'm not okay with the status quo. I'm not okay with following all the rules. You just feel different. You think different and you act different. So when people say to me, do you think you're born with it or it's part of your environment? I say, well, I think the environment will take you to becoming a business owner. But your hustle, your heart, your attitude, the way you think about things, if you think bigger, if you think more long term, if you're trying to change, generationally change the future of your family and where you guys are heading and what your kids are going to be like and your kids' kids are going to, the opportunities for the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren, if you're thinking that big, and a lot of people that get into real estate are thinking that big, that's entrepreneurship to me. And so when I saw you do that, I was so proud. It was like a proud dad moment. Like,
That's so cool.
yeah, baby. He's got it in him. He was born with it. I don't know where you got it from.
You.
That's right. Awkward high five. Awkward high five. Yeah, but you know what? I conditioned you. You know, when I was growing up, my dad never really told me, hey, someday you have to make a choice. You can go get a job or you can start a business. Here's what the difference between the two is. Here's money management. Here's how to create a positive relationship with money. Here's how to, grow your influence, grow your net worth, how to manage taxes, how to set up your financial structure the right way. I didn't experience any of that growing up. I didn't have anybody that was around me that was successful at this level telling me what is a leader, how does leadership work. By the way, what's a leader?
Leader is someone who sets the standard and goes outside the box or above and beyond.
Above and beyond? Does a leader always do the right thing?
Always. But if you make a mistake, you can learn from that.
Boom. How many times do I ask you and tell you about leadership?
Every day right before I go to school.
Every day.
Every day.
That's environment. That's conditioning, right? So I'm working really hard with him to pull the best of him out. If that made any dang sense. I don't know if that made any sense. Did that make sense? Sort of. I'm trying to get you to level up.
Yeah.
And you
From a
might have
kid's
grown
brain,
up.
it probably doesn't make sense, but from a grown-up's brain, it does.
Yeah. But maybe you grew up in a rough environment that lacked resources, or there was addictions or drugs or, negative people or whatever that situation was. That's environment, but you can still grow up in a negative environment and use that because it's already in you to want more and to level up. You just have to break free of that environment, get over to a better environment, so that way you can really rise up to your true potential. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So anyways, wanted to have this conversation because I had Huddy Buddy here with me, and I have big hopes, dreams, and goals for you, kid. And I have no doubt that you're going to go off and be super successful if you choose to be.
So you ready to do the
choice.
clever sign-off?
Well, before we do, what should we ask them to do?
Click the like button. No, take that back. Smash the like button. Super smash the subscribe button. And remember, we need to get 100,000 likes or I lost faith in you. Anyways.
All right.
Hey, you ready?
Yeah, you ready? Why don't you do it?
Right.
Since you're such a pro. Hey, first off, I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video. Leave me a comment down below what your biggest takeaway on this one was. And maybe even give Hudson some love down in the comment section.
I will read the comments. Actually, I will reply to all of them. Let me say this. All the comments that are about me, that's what I will reply by.
All right. Why don't we sign off?
You ready? Take care. Cut me hair. Sperber's out.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Hey, listen, while you're here, why don't you click the tab in the upper right-hand corner and grab my new book, How to Flip Houses with Little No Money Down. It's a step-by-step guide on how I got wealthy in real estate and how you can too. Hope it helps. Oh, don't forget to watch the 2 videos also.